Well, hi there, folks. It is Zero Star Digester. Thanks for checking out my video. Once again, we are looking at my matchup hockey game simulation here from a board and Dyson card and dice game that I created many moons ago, and been trying to work on getting things inputted into a computer version. If you've been following along in this series, you know what a pain in the ass this has been, and trying to get a lot of the automations and things to basically facilitate speedy hockey simulation here. Compared to our last video, which was pretty exciting because we had quite a lot of really cool things that I was able to get done, this one here, as you can see, is completely different than the last version, and there has been a lot of updates. Most notably, you will notice that when I hit the actual, oops, I gotta actually get in the actual thing here. You'll notice that when I randomize now, instead of every single thing on the screen flashing, you'll notice the only thing that's being randomized is actually the players here that are in the matchup, and of course our chart results. Everything else is static. And the reason for that is because I've now coded in every single option in the game into a button. So a lot of these things have now been automated into buttons. So as we showed you last time, if I wanted to add one to our saves, I can just click the saves button, the shot button. But now we have all kinds of super cool and neat things. So let's go through some of them here. So first things first, just kind of a graphic look over here. I decided to go with a lighter instead of having them all the same color. I put the forwards as one kind of color and the defensemen as a different color, and made them all lighter so they're easier to read. That's, not a very big change, I guess. As I mentioned, though, the biggest changes are going to be with all of the buttons that I've now. It's going to be a little bit hard to see which ones are actually like 3D buttons and which aren't here on YouTube. But every single thing has now got a button. So if we come over here, let's just look at our goalie results here. And of course, everything that happens down here also happens up here. When we do a shot block now, we're just going to click on the button for shot block, and it'll actually roll the die, and it'll give the position of the player. And if that would result in a shot block, we can actually click on the shot block result button and randomly roll our shot block result. If the shot's not blocked, obviously it's going to go in on goal, so we're going to hit the shot on goal button, and in that case it'll roll this here, which tells us where the player shot the puck, and it'll also roll the goalie to determine which zone he is covering. So you can see that both of these numbers flash as I kind of click through them here. So obviously that's going to show us whether or not it has a where the puck was shot and where the goalie is covering, to determine whether or not it's an automatic save or an automatic miss shot or whatever. In the case of it being an actual on goal, this is kind of new and interesting. You can see here we actually have 1 through 6, and these buttons here, obviously the same thing up here at the top, represent the shot power that each player has. So in this case is if Travis Zajac here was taking a shot, and we'll just say it was a explanation point shot. So it's a 3 value, so explanation point 3. What all you have to do to determine the total of the shot is click on the 3 power, and each one of these buttons will, from 1 all the way up to 6, will roll a random die and add the value of the shot power and give you the total here, which is quite exciting because if you watched last episode, we talked about trying to speed things up with trying to manipulate, okay, well, I got to add this and this and this, blah, blah, blah. So now all I have to do is actually click on the 3 button and it'll roll and add in a random die as well. So with the 3 power, his shot total is a 5. And with that, the random die was obviously a 2 because he had 3 shot power. The total was a 5, so it's a 2. If I click it again, You can see this one's a 9, so this one obviously was a 6 roll. We can also do the exact same thing with the goalie buttons now. You'll notice that the actual different zones that the goalie is covering, you will see they were now are the stats are kind of above the boxes now. And in this case, we're hitting it to the high right. And the same thing, I'm going to click on this button here. This is an actual button now. And what's going to happen is it's going to add in the 5 for the goalie stat and a random die and give us a total there. So quickly and easily I can click that, and I can click on the players button as well, and I will get the final shot total without having to calculate it all up myself. So I think that's going to be pretty quickly and easy. And the best thing about coding all of this stuff in and using buttons as opposed to, hitting the F9 button and having it randomly generated is that I can basically tell it when to do things. These numbers won't go away anytime. The only way they'll go away is if I actually click the button again. So if we have a rebound or whatever, I can just come right in here and click on the shot total for the rebound and where the location is, and it'll give me new numbers based on that. So I don't have to worry about basically numbers disappearing or anything like that. So again, shot power of the player plus a D6, plus you're going to click in whatever zone your puck goes to, and that's going to automatically roll in the goalie's stat and a random die. And then pretty easily we can compare the two results. If the two results show in a save, we're actually going to come and click on the save button here, and it's going to give us a random result down here. The random results are either hold, where the goalie just holds the puck, it's called a rebound happens, or a loose puck happens. So one of those results will happen. If it happens to be a rebound situation, we're going to come over and obviously click on the rebound button. So basically we're just going to be click, 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 boop, and getting our result that way. Obviously if it's a save, we're going to click on the save button and add a save total to the goalie as well. So the player, myself, whoever is using this can now actually get in here and see the results and not have to worry about, if I click this button, then everything's going to randomly roll again. And if I click this button, everything's going to randomly roll again. Everything's been coded in now to buttons so that we can determine what numbers we want to generate. Same thing with the face-off here. You can see we have a face-off button. It'll actually, when we click this button, it'll roll a random die for the home team. It'll roll a random die for the visitor team. It'll roll this position here, which is the winner of the face-off, and it'll roll this position here, which shows the player that gets the puck. So again, if I just click this, you can see it's rolling both the die and both of this. Same thing with the injury. I can click on the injury. It's going to roll to determine what happens with the injury and what player is injured in case that is the result with that. With our tie result, which happens every once in a while when we get a total, instead of this randomly rolling, now all we have to do is obviously click on the tie button, and it'll randomly roll on our chart to determine the result there. So everything's coded in with actual buttons to cause to have you pull up the results. Same thing with the penalty. There's a penalty button here. A lot of the colors match. I try to get as many colors as I can to match. So some of them might not look like buttons. Obviously, the injury is not exactly the same color as this spot and this spot, so it kind of stands out a little bit more. But in this case, it doesn't because they are the exact same color. But this is actually a button here as well. And it'll roll a random die for the visitor, it'll roll a random die for the home team, and it'll roll the actual penalty, what the time on the penalty was. And you can see all that happening when I hit the penalty button. Same thing with random player. I used to actually have several different random player boxes. I don't need those now because every time I click random, it'll roll me a new random player. So if I need to find several random players during a play, I can just come back and click on the random button. With the assist, same thing here. I can randomly generate. By clicking on the assist button, it'll randomly roll what players are going to come in and get assists on any goal. All right, so that leaves us with kind of two more major things. And this is one thing I talked about last episode that I didn't know. I thought, man, this is going to be way too hard for me to actually devise a way to actually move the puck around into different locations. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, I am not a coder. I am not an expert at Excel, but just messing around with doing searches on the internet and looking at other people's codes and just taking, I'm pretty computer savvy. I've taken some coding classes a long time ago. And I mean, when you look at the codes and you can kind of make sense, oh, okay, this is what this does. And then you put this information. Oh, okay, all right. So if I wanted to do something different, I can say, well, what if I change this in the formula? What would happen? And by testing and doing things, I was actually able to create our hockey rink here based in the different zones for the results. So you can see here, let's just say that New Jersey wins the matchup and they were in their defensive zone. So you can see here automatically it's going to go to the result is an offensive zone play here. So there are now buttons here for defensive, neutral zone, and offense. One for the visitor team and one for the home team. Visitor is in yellow and home is in pink. And you can actually see now, for the first time ever on our sheet, we actually announce who is the visitor and who is the home team. So in this case, we know that New Jersey will be playing the home team, Anaheim will be playing the visitor team, and it might even be a good idea to match these colors up to one another. Something I can think about to do. So anyways, if New Jersey ends up winning the matchup here in their defensive zone, you can see that the result is to actually go into the offensive zone with the puck, and all I have to do is come down to our offensive zone, and there's three buttons, one for the visitor team, one for a face-off, and one for the home team. So if I click that, you'll notice the puck now shows that they are in the offensive zone. Let's say on the next play that Anaheim steals the puck and ends up getting it into their neutral zone. So I'm just going to go into neutral zone and I'm going to actually click on the visitor team, and you can see I've now got it coded so that it'll actually, sometimes I have to click it a couple times. The first one will actually remove it, and then the next one will put it in the new zone. So if we had a face-off in zone 3 here, I would come to zone 3, and I would click that button, and it shows where the puck is. So pretty cool little design there. It does what I needed to do. It might not look the best thing ever, obviously, but it does what I needed to do. Obviously, just trying to make things look a little better and make it match up, and make it look awesome would be a cool thing to do. So we get the play result. We can quickly and easily see who's going to win the play result. If this is the situation, 1 plus 4 is 5, and this is going to be 10, so New Jersey is going to win the matchup. I can see that. They didn't have possession of the puck. They were in their defensive zone, so the puck stayed in their defensive zone, so I don't need to click anything. I can actually click on the time period here, which will take 20 seconds off the time now, and we can go on to the next play, just like that. And in that case, I probably do actually use random rolls to determine the matchups here that's going to be involved in that. I was going to create a button for that, and I still might do that. We'll have to see if I think I might actually switch it over to be a button, because I think that, clicking a button and randomizing all these players would be just as easy as pressing the F9 button. Just to randomize an Excel sheet, all you have to do is hit F9, and it'll randomize everything. If I had a button for that, I could actually roll that. The only disadvantage would be it wouldn't obviously roll this chart unless I had another button to roll all these results. And to code in all of these results, that would be quite a bit. So I'm probably not going to create a button for that because again, it's just as easy for me to hit F9. So if I'm hitting F9 for this sheet, I might as well just hit F9 for this sheet. So yeah, probably just, I don't know. We'll try maybe adding in buttons and see how it goes. I mean, once I get it coded in, it'll be fine. It's just a matter of, we're talking a couple hours worth of work to get all of these spots coded in. So yeah, these super cool buttons. Again, I didn't think I was going to be able to create, um, you know, a situation where we can show where the puck is in different zones by just pressing a button, which is going to be obviously very quick. And the buttons are right here where we're looking. So if we had another matchup, let's just, Anaheim's got the puck in their defensive zone, right? There we are. All right, so all right, so offense 4, and it looks like New Jersey wins it. So they didn't have possession of the puck, so the puck is in their offensive zone. So I just click on that, and boom, just like that, I move the puck over, hit the timer, hit F9 a couple times, and we're off to the races. Have another matchup that's 9 versus 8, so New Jersey wins it. They have the puck in their offensive zone for a star. So I have to just look at Zubras here and see that he's a star. He's a 3, so I would come over here and click the 3 button. So that's locked his result in. No matter what else I do, this number is not going to change now. So first thing I will do is look and see if it's blocked. So no block, so we don't have to worry about that. Find out here, we have to hit the shot on goal. Click that a couple times just to make sure it cycles through. I want to make sure everything's actually cycling. So we're going low right. So I'm going to click that button. And you can see now everything's coded in. Goalie result was 6 total. The shot total was a 9. So this is actually a goal for, it was, who was it? It was Daniel Zubras. See, this is why I coded everything in, because I don't want to have to keep pressing F9 because that will cycle things through, and I'll lose track of what was going on. So everything's been coded in to buttons so they won't have that problem. So maybe it was Zalitsky there that was taking the shot because it was a 3 shot. For a star, so maybe it was him that took it. Let's see, what's Zubras? Zubras is a 3-2, so it was one of those two, because it was a star 3. Anyways, this ends up being a goal because everything's been coded in, and actually the goalie rolls a 1, and the scorer, or the shooter in this case, rolled a 6. So anytime the goalie rolls a 1 and the shooter rolls a 6, there's a very good chance of getting a goal. And because it wasn't blocked, that's another thing that can keep the goal from happening. Also, if these numbers match, if the goalie was covering the low right zone, that would have been an automatic save as well. So lots of things working against the shooter, obviously, because you're not going to be scoring lots of goals. But if you get the right rolls and the right results, you will end up getting a goal just like that. So pretty excited about all of these changes. Number one, just being able to click on the buttons to determine where the puck is. Like I said, I thought that was going to be extremely hard. I was able to get some coding for something that did something similar, and I just changed it to do what I needed it to do, and it works pretty much like a charm. Like I said, it doesn't look great. I'm probably going to have to change some of the look to it to make it look a little better and stuff, but it does exactly what I wanted to do. Clicking a button and just determining where the puck is really quickly and easily. So pretty excited about all that. And then just the code to be able to not have everything cycling through. If you watched our replay when we were actually playing the game, there were several times where it was like, oh, this player takes a shot and it causes a rebound. well, then I have to get a new shot total and everything. So I'd have to hit F9, F9, F9 to get these new shot results. Now I don't have to worry about losing all my data because the only thing that's actually changing are going to be these here. And that might be why I want a button, because I don't want these to actually change when I hit F9. So I will probably code this into these random players here into a button as well, so that way they don't cycle through when I don't want them to cycle through. And maybe I will just create a button for these too. But so everything will be, just button wise, coded in, that way. So, after the scoring, we got the face off here in the middle. So we just click that button and boom, there's the puck in the middle of the rink, kind of in the neutral zone for a face off. Changing players, if we miss that, is obviously we're just coded in a nice VLOOKUP where it's looking at my charts for line 2 in a certain zone, and it finds line 2 and it brings that information in here. And so with just a few clicks, I can change all of my lines and get back to the action really quickly. Wow, I'm just amazed at, when this project started a week or so ago, not too long ago, I had no idea where it was going to go. And, like I said, I wasn't an expert. I'm not an Excel expert. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a coder or anything like that. But it's amazing when you put your mind to it and say, I got to find something that'll let me click a button and add a dice roll and look at the number, add a dice and roll a number together to give me a result quickly, so I can not have to add things up. And or find a thing where if I can click it, I can actually change the actual color of a cell based upon what code that button has. So obviously this code is for this spot right there. So I want to change it to color black. So, yeah, so everything's coming along nicely. Just being able to click all these things when I need them, and not have to worry about any of the numbers changing when I hit F9. Again, if I hit F9, you will see the only things on the screen that actually change are this little thing here, which is a timer for goals so we can get the exact time. Our little chart here, which will randomly determine where the puck goes, and then of course our random matchup for our players. So I might actually change, like I said, I might just make a button for this, and I might just make a button for this, and then I don't have to worry about ever having to press F9 again. And that way I can click the button a couple times and it'll randomly get some new players, click the button a couple times over here. As you can see, we're kind of running out of space. I might need to, the problem with redesigning and moving things around now is everything's coded into a certain spot. So if I move anything, I've got to change all of the code. So yeah, it's probably, it's going to be a thing where I need to code it in and make it just look the way it does for right now. And then if everything goes well, probably restart over with the same code and just create a new sheet that might have everything looking a little bit better. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, and it just doesn't look great. It doesn't look professional, but it's functional, fully functional, and that's what I'm trying to get at right now, is just get something that's functional and working and easy to do. It actually will probably take me a little bit longer to actually play the game until I get used to where, clicking on all the buttons as opposed to just hitting F9. But like I said, the disadvantage of hitting F9 is just having all these, like if you watch the last first period and second period of our game here between Anaheim and New Jersey, lots and lots of times all of these things switch, and I had issues with, well, who took the shot and what was their stats and all that. Now I don't have to worry about that. And just being able to click the single button to do lots of different things, I think will help speed the thing up. Oh yeah, here's the buck. It went into right there. Okay, boom, quick, done. Oh, we got to. Oh, wait a minute. We got a face off here. All right. Well, here's the face off just by clicking the button. We got a. Let's see here. Check for penalty result. Okay. Well, click the penalty button. Looks like the home team ended up having a penalty on them. 2-minute penalty. Okay. So who was out there? It was Mark Fain. Okay, well then I can just Mark Fain. Where are you? There you are. And was that 1820? 1820. Boom, just like that. Have the penalty all ready to go, coded in now. I think it'll be so much better, so much faster, so much easier. I'm pretty excited about it. So hopefully I'll get this last button done for the random player, the matchups, and probably a button here for our chart. And then I'll come back and we'll actually have a episode where we actually play it out, period or half a period or whatever, with the new format, and then see how it goes from there. So let me know what you guys think of the the format. I know it's hard for you guys to really determine until you see it in action. So I mean, you probably don't have a lot to say about it until that time. Obviously, making things look nicer and more, you know, easier and not as complex would be awesome. But at least it's a fully functional working simulation of hockey right now. And all I need to do is add in a button for this and a button for that, and I think we're pretty much good to go. Pretty much good to go. We're ready to do some more simulations. Maybe even start over again, so that way we can keep track of our saves and shots and everything from scratch. So look forward to seeing that. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this process here. And let me know if you have any thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys.